Just checking my phone. See if anybody's up there watching. Dylan knows. Wait, this isn't Dylan knows. It's Wednesday. It's the Comic Call. How you doing? How the hell are you, Comic Call? How the hell are you out there, world? This is Dylan Lang, and it is Wednesday. It is December 18th, and this is the Comic Call, the dark side. Yeah. How's it going today? Hump Day, middle of the week, and it's a surprising Comic Call a week later on Wednesday, which is where I used to have this. But due to money issues, there were issues where I wasn't able to do it on Wednesdays. But you know what? A couple things came into play this week, one of which is my good friend, my brother from another mother, Gary Harris, said, you know what, Dylan? It's your birthday. There's a book out I want you to get for me, so I'm going to give you some money, and you can buy the rest of your comics with it. Happy birthday. So, my good friend, my brother from another mother, Gary Harris, I thank you, sir, and we'll talk about that book at the very end. It's the very last one I'm going to talk about because it is probably going to be my pick of the week. You know, there's some good stuff out there. But this week is kind of a interesting week. It's my birthday week. My birthday is on Friday, so cheers! Yay! Happy birthday! So I figured, what the hell? Let's get myself some presents, and what better presents than comic books? So tonight on the Comic Call, we're going to talk about the comics that I bought today. They're actually, it's a light week for me this week, and actually, if you think about, if you look at what came out this week, there isn't really a lot that came out this week, which is interesting, since Wizard World Philadelphia is this week, as is Heroes Con. So you'd think they might have some more stuff out there, but you know what? What do I know? It does bother me because my birthday's on Friday, so that's all that matters. So Friday, June 20th. So if you're watching this like on the 21st or 22nd or whatever, my birthday's passed. So you can still wish me happy birthday. That's fine. But I figure, you know what? It's Wednesday. Comics did come out today. If you're not going to any of those cons, you may as well pick up some good stuff. There's some still reasonably good stuff come out this week, and you should all check it out. So without further ado, I'm going to have one more sip of beer here. And also, real quick, before I get into the Comic Call, I will have some news at the end about something that Diamond just announced today. They announced the Halloween Scarefest, or their Halloween Scarefest type of thing. It's a free comic book day they do in October. We'll get into that in a little bit. But first, it is time. It is hot as balls. No, I shouldn't say that. It is hot as Hades here in Baltimore. Got up to 97 degrees. I am in the coldest part of the house right now, the basement. It feels good. This is the Comic Hall. As always, it's divided in DC, Marvel, and Independence. Also, I splurged a little bit also because Gary, helped me out there. I got some comics that I didn't pick up from last week or last month. There was one in there that I didn't pick up from last month, which I was able to still get, which is great. But we'll get to those, and I'll explain those when I get there. So first up, DC, and the very first one is Batman and Ra's al Ghul, number 32. Beautiful cover. Ends the search for Robin, hunt for Robin storyline. I think VA Gentle Nerd, even though she loves the Bombshell covers, I think she's probably going to buy this one because she also loves Ra's al Ghul. So for the ladies, look at me. I've got strong muscles. I'm getting ready to crush the Batman. But it's an awesome Patrick Gleason cover. Pierre Tomasi writes, Patrick Gleason draws, and Mick Gray inks. I said on my Batman show I did last weekend, I think, or 2 weekends ago, that this is, I think, probably the best Batman comic book out there right now. It is like a Brave and Bold book now since Robin died, and for good reason. Tomasi is really getting into the heart of the character that is Batman, and you've got a great artist in Patrick Gleason, who is doing a fantastic job here. Let's hear some of the artwork. Just fantastic artwork, fantastic story. It is incredible how great of a job Patrick Gleason is doing drawing this, and how great of a job Pierre Tomasi is writing this book. I highly recommend this book. It is absolutely amazing, and it looks like we're going to have some interesting stuff going on. And apparently I'm wrong. It's not the end of the hunt for Robin, because something else is coming up at the end. So Batman and Ra's al Ghul number 32. As I said before, I mentioned something about Bombshell covers. All this month, DC is doing 2 sets of covers for their books. One is Bombshell cover, which is in the style of the old 30s and 40s type of recruitment posters with women in provocative type poses to draw your attention to doing things. I showed a couple last week on my comic haul. I've got a couple this week, not many, but a couple this week, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But there are 2 covers. So there was one for Batman and Ra's al Ghul. I think it was Tally was on the cover, and it was nice. It was a nice one. She was kind of hot, but I just love this cover. It's just Ra's al Ghul getting ready to smash a sarcophagus over Batman's head. It's an awesome cover. As I keep mentioning, and I'm going to keep bashing into your heads, DC has 2 weekly books coming out. Weekly, I should say, I guess. Another one, first up, is following up with Batman and Ra's al Ghul. We have Batman Eternal number 11. I'm about 2 issues behind, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but you got a nice cover with Batgirl fighting some sort of, I don't know what that is, but there's Batgirl taking it on. It's written by Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV. Tim Seeley is scripting it. Ray Fawkes and John Layman are consulting writers, and Ian Bertram is the artist this week. And it's kind of an odd art, considering how the rest of Batman Eternal has been. It's got kind of a Chris Burnham type of look to it, but you know, there's just something about it. I don't know. We'll have to maybe got a little Sam Keith in there as well, but I guess it fits for the storyline. And we'll take a look at it. But I mean, the storyline has been pretty good. It's been a pretty interesting storyline. And just some really good stuff here. So. All right, next up is the other weekly book, Future's End, number 7. Brian Azzarello, Keith Giffen, Dan Jurgens, Jeff Lemire, if you want to call it that way, Aaron Lopresti, and Art Thibber. Aaron Lopresti and Art Thibber doing the art this week, and the others are writing it. Aaron Lopresti is a pretty good artist, pretty normal comic book artist that you're used to. Ooh, some Slade Wilson in there. But the premise of this one is it's 5 years later in the Batman universe, or the DC universe, I should say, and things are not going too well. So, Batman Beyond is the main character on this one. So, pretty interesting stuff going on. So, it's leading. I think it's going to lead somewhere pretty interesting, and I can't wait to see what it is. Next up is Green Lantern New Guardians. Justin Jordan, Brad Walker, Andrew Hennessy. This is the new Green Lantern books in general are very good. New Guardians is pretty good. It follows all the different ring bearers, the green, the indigo, the blue, violet, all of them, and in all kinds of adventures. Artwork is pretty good. I haven't really caught up on it yet, so I'll have to go with Scott Barry, who's this huge Green Lantern guy, says that New Guardians is doing pretty good, so it must be pretty good. Artwork's pretty nice looking to look at, so there's some pretty good stuff there. So check it out. Green Lantern New Guardians just came out this week. All right, and I told you that I bought some older stuff today. Here's the first one of those. Harley Quinn number 7 came out this week, new issue. I didn't get number 6 last month due to financial problems, but I picked it up, so I've got Harley Quinn 6 and 7. We'll do it one at a time. Harley Quinn number 6 was from last month, and if you're like my store usually has the older stuff up on their shelf for a little while but it's written by Jimmy Palmiotti, who's a great guy, Amanda Conner, who's a fantastic woman, and artwork is by Chad Hardin. It's a crazy, wild, crazy book. Just, it's Harley Quinn, so, what do you expect? It's just in pure insanity. So, and that's what makes it good. And Jimmy and Amanda do a really good job of writing it. So this is number 6. This came out last month. And this month is our first Bombshell cover. I just thought it was a really good cover. So this is what I meant by Bombshell covers. This is the type of style you're going to see, old 1930s, 40s style thing. So most of the DC comics are doing a story like that. Once again, Amanda Conner, Jimmy Palmiotti, the writers. Chad Hardin is the artist. And some pretty nice looking women there, Poison Ivy and Harley on the beach. And just some really cool, good stuff. So I gotta get caught up on Harley Quinn also, but it is an insane journey through Harley's head, and extremely funny from what I've heard, extremely crazy and violent. So gotta love it. Gotta love Harley Quinn. So check it out. From last week, which I didn't get because of financial issues, we have Green Arrow, number 32, broken. Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino are doing an amazing job with Green Arrow. Just absolute amazing job with Green Arrow. I absolutely love what they're doing with this book, and I enjoy it immensely. The artwork is really, really special, really, really good, very interesting to look at, and the storyline is great. And the funny thing is about Jeff Lemire is he never really knew much about Green Arrow, and he's writing the heck out of this book, so he's doing a really good job. So Green Arrow 32 came out last week, might still be up on your local comic store shelves. Also came out last week. I talked about this briefly because I thought the cover was amazing. But once again, I didn't pick it up due to financial issues. But I picked it up this week. It is a Bombshell cover. It's Detective Comics 32. It's just Poison Ivy. Gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Absolutely gorgeous cover. Bombshell. And the storyline is written by Francis Manapul and drawn by Francis Manapul and inked by Buccellato. Buccia. Let's see if I can find his name. Give him the proper credit that he deserves. Brian Buccellato and Francis Manapul. So they're doing a pretty good job with Batman. They were on The Flash for a while, and now they're on Detective Comics. Making for an interesting Batman book. Check it out. It's a pretty good storyline that I've been reading so far. The Icarus storyline. And some good Batman artwork, Batman Paul and Puccialetto. So, also finishing up my DC run. Also came out last week is one of my absolute favorite books of all time. Astro City, number 13, came out last week. Alex Ross cover, and written by Kurt Busiek. Brent Anderson returns to do the artwork since he took, I guess that he took a month off last month, and Graham Nolan drew it, and Alex Ross is the cover artist and also helped design the characters as well. So, along with Brent Anderson and Kurt Busiek. So, it's a great series. For those who don't know, I highly recommend you pick up the trades. It's totally new. It's total creation, personal creation, all from Kurt Busiek, Brent Anderson, Alex Ross. They create a whole universe of characters, city, a world filled with superheroes, and instead of focusing on the superheroes, which does sometimes, it focuses on the people who live in Astro City and the stuff that they have to deal with every day. So it's a regular person's, a human look at the world. It'd be like following a regular person around living in a world of superheroes and how they deal with living in a world of superheroes flying all around, bad guys flying in and out. You might have a relationship with a superhero, you might have superpowers yourself, and how you decide to use them. And Kurt Busiek is writing a great story. It does take a look at the heroes ass side of it, you look at the bad guy side of it, you look at the personal people's side of it, you just look at everything, and he takes stories that you might have seen before and changes them up and makes them more personal. So Astro City is a great book. I highly recommend you pick up any of the trades and the new comic also. They're fairly easy to follow up on. They're self-contained stories for the most part, and Kurt writes a really good story that he can, if you've never really read any of the books before, if you just go in, he'll give you the general idea of what it is. But the basic idea is it's a city filled with superheroes, and it focuses on the people who live in the city, and sometimes the superheroes as well, and treats them like regular people and not superheroes. So that's my DC haul. My Marvel haul starts off with probably my favorite cover of the whole week, Elektra #3. Look at that. She's swimming. If you can't see what it is, she's in the water, and she's swimming in the shape of a Psy, which is what her weapon of choice is. It's a phenomenal cover, and this book just keeps getting better and better. I was never really a big Elektra fan, but W. Hayden Blackman and Michael Del Mundo are making me into an Elektra liker, lover, if you like. Very painterly artwork, great storyline, just a fantastic, brutal battles with assassins. Very well drawn by Michael Del Mundo, and Hayden Blackman is doing a great job with the artwork. So, once again, gorgeous cover. Should buy it for the cover alone, actually. Next up is another book that actually surprised me also. I don't know why it would, because I've always liked him. Silver Surfer #3. Dan Slott, and Michael Allred, writers. Dan Slott is the writer, Michael Allred is the artist. It's very crazy, space Kirby-ish type of artwork from Mike Allred. The story is just absolute insanity, throwing everything in the kitchen sink. I had a little bit of a breakdown there. Okay, that was interesting. So let me get back to what I was doing. This is Daredevil. I'm just going to do this real quick. I don't have time to do this. This is Daredevil #4. Mark Waid, Chris Samney. Interesting cover. It's an owl with Daredevil inside of there as well, so it's kind of interesting. Storyline is really good. I guess the owl is because the owl's in here. Mark Waid has brought in the Shroud, which I talked about earlier. He brought in the Shroud, and also the owl apparently is in this as well. So pretty interesting, pretty good. Can't wait to read this also. This looks fantastic. Artwork looks great. So I better hurry up because that might have been a warning that, you know, you shouldn't be doing this anymore. Black Widow #7. This came out last week, I think. So I didn't. It was one of those other things I didn't get last week. There's Black Widow #7. Nathan Edmondson, Phil Noto. Looks like Daredevil is in this issue also, meeting up with Natasha, and Black Widow is Black Widow and him have a history, so it's kind of interesting. So Black Widow is pretty good. Good artwork by Phil Noto. It's your typical spy thriller type of thing. So that's perfect. So that's it for Marvel. And finally, this is the book that Mr. Gary Harris, my brother from another mother, wanted to buy because I got him hooked on it. And newest issue came out. It's been a while, but the new issue's out now, and this is probably going to be my book of the week. I haven't read it yet, but I can't wait to read it yet. This is my Independence. This is from Image. This is Sex Criminals #6. Yes. For those who think I've lost my mind, Sex Criminals, and that's really hard to see because of the white cover. Sex Criminals is not exactly what you think it is. It's not about a bunch of people who attack people and sexually abuse them. No, it's actually a romantic comedy thriller about a couple who discover they have the power to stop time when they orgasm. Yep. It's for adults, obviously, so no kids for that. There's sex, lots and lots of sex, nudity, adult situations, but it's a fun, fantastic book. A lot of fun. It's the art style. It's written by Matt Fraction, and the artwork is by Chip Zdarsky. See if I can find a non-sexual. That's pretty good. This isn't so bad. As you see, Chip Zdarsky's artwork is a little. You know, it's just interesting. It's a romantic comedy about drama, thriller, whatever you want to call it. But it's very funny, and it's about a couple that, as I said, discover they can stop time when they orgasm, and so they decide to use it to rob the bank. There's more to it than that, but this says it all for mature readers. Duh. So, but I highly recommend it. This is probably my book of the week. It's just a great book. The use that Fraction uses different styles and different time and up and down and flashbacks, flash forwards, all kinds of crazy stuff. It's really hard to describe. The trade just came out not too long ago, so you can pick up the first 5 issues and then get #6, which is the newest issue came out this week. So that's it for my birthday week. That was the comic haul for my birthday week. Not a lot of stuff, but hey, there's some interesting stuff in there, and then there's some stuff from the last couple weeks that are in there as well. So enjoy that. My birthday is on June 20th, so I just have to keep saying that because I love my birthday. I love having my birthday. But we're not here to talk about that right now. We're finishing up the episode with talk about the Halloween Scare Fest, which is something that's been going on for a couple of years now. It's basically free comic book day, but during the fall. Some comic book stores, it hasn't hit as big as free comic book day, but it's starting to get there, and it's starting to rise every once in a while. The last weekend in October, which is right before Halloween, and sometimes it could be Halloween, depending. You know, a lot of comic stores are in strip malls or have standalone stores near other stores, whatever. They have like trick-or-treating the weekend before Halloween, if Halloween falls, like say on a Thursday or Wednesday. I think this year's on a Friday. But if it falls like during the week, the weekend's a great time for kids to get out and do stuff weekend before Halloween. It's a lot of fun to go out there. The air is crisp. Colors of the trees are good, and people are in the Halloween spirit. So a lot of these strip malls and malls, they do trick-or-treating for kids. So you dress your kids up in costumes. You can dress them in costumes if you want as well, and then you go to these strip malls, and they get you treats or whatever. Well, comic book stores have started to say, you know what, why don't we do free comics? Because that's always a fun giveaway to do. Because there had been some time before this happened that Marvel and a few others decided you could buy Halloween comics to give out trick-or-treating, which I did before because I worked at Diamond. I used to get packs of the Halloween stuff, and I'd give them to my mom, and she'd give them out to the kids who came trick-or-treating, and they remembered the house. This was the house that gave us the comic books. They'd come next year and say, do you have the comic books? Yes, we do. There you go. So you know what, why don't we do that instead of just giving it to the houses? Why don't we just give them away at our stores? So they usually have costume contests or whatever, and they do a number of free comic books. It might not be as many as Free Comic Book Day, and it may not get as much press as Free Comic Book Day, but it's still a good event. And you get your kids dressed up. You go to the comic store. They'll probably have Halloween, setups. They'll probably have. It'll be similar to Free Comic Book Day. Probably they'll have artists probably there signing stuff. You can come in costume. They might have costume contests. They might give away candy. They give away along with the comics as well. So a lot of the major comic companies decide, you know what, let's go ahead and do that. It's a great idea. So Diamond announced today the listing of stuff. I don't have all of them, but there's some good stuff out there. Archie's releasing the first issue of Afterlife with Archie, Afterlife of Archie, which is good comic. It's also releasing, DC is releasing Scooby-Doo meets Batman and Robin. Also is releasing a excerpt from Haunted Night, which was a Batman Halloween comic story. Marvel is doing something interesting. They're doing anniversaries. They're doing the anniversary of the first Marvel comic ever, which was one with the Human Torch on, which I think it was 39, which would be, I don't know, 80, 70 years, 75 years. Yeah, 75 years, I think. Yeah, Batman, 75, duh, okay. So it was 75 years ago. They're releasing a copy of that, a reprint of that, and they're also 84 was the release of Secret Wars #1. They're releasing a copy of that, reprint of that as well. Rachel Rising, which is a great horror book, is going to be released for Halloween also. Those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. There's also IDW's doing an Angry Birds Halloween book as well for kids. So there's a lot for kids, but there's also some for grown-ups as well. Those are just touching the scratching the surface. So that's that. So you'll be hearing more and more about the Halloween Scarefest on my regular show. I have a show on Sundays called Dylan Knows. I have a comic show. And you'll be hearing more and more about the Halloween thing as we get closer to Halloween. So keep your ears glued to that. Every Sunday I have a show called Dylan Knows, which is a different genre. The first Sunday of the month is my comics. Second Sunday is my list show. My third Sunday is paranormal show. My fourth Sunday, which is the one coming up this Sunday, is my international show where I get a group of people together and we just talk about the issues of the day. I've got on my show on Sunday, which has been moved to 2:30 p.m. and not 12:30 p.m. So 2:30 Sunday Eastern Standard Time. Dylan Knows International with my co-host Bronwyn and our special guest Kelly Toole. Young Jeans are going to be discussing summer vacations, obsessions, Twitter drama, and all kinds of fun stuff. Well, which is better, 4th of July or Canada Day. So fun stuff like that. And because I have a fifth Sunday this month, I'll be doing a Doctor Who show on the 29th. I've got Brienne penciled in right now. Hopefully I'll get a few more people in with that. So that'll be fun to do some Doctor Who stuff. Snarkalic Radio tomorrow, Thursday, 9 p.m. Mike, Tony, and Kelly are joined by Holly, so it should be a good episode. They're going to talk about our friend Kamar Dixon. He ain't right. So check that out. And my birthday is on Friday. First day of summer is on Saturday. So all kinds of fun stuff coming up this week. And I think that's it. So go out to your comic store, support your comic store, buy comics, go to your comic store, buy the comics I talked to you about, or just go and see. There might be some that I didn't buy that you might be interested in. Go to the comic book store. There's going to be kids comics out there for your all family stuff. There's going to be trade paperbacks. Pick up something you haven't read before. A lot of stores are going to do sales over the weekend, so you might pick up some good stuff. Like 2 for 1, stuff like that. get caught up in some things. Go into comic book stores. Just go. Just go get your comics. Read comics. Comics are good. They're good for reading. They're good artwork. They're good to look at. And in general, it's a win-win situation for everybody. So go out, support your local comic store. And on that note, I think I'm going to say goodbye. I will see you all next week, maybe, hopefully, for another episode of the Comic Hall. If not next week, it'll be 2 weeks around 4th of July. Okay? Thank you very much, and have a pleasant evening. Bye.